And I see TikToks on here all the time that talk about like, pretty girls and how they're never approached. And it's true. Like I was just out at a bar. Black men were there. None of them talked to my friends and I. All pretty girls, black girls, none. And it's like people say, like, finding someone to have sex with you, to take you out to eat, to compliment you is not hard. I can go on these apps clearly and find someone that's ready to have sex with me tonight, right now, without even knowing my last name. Literally does not know if I've just got rid of. But finding someone that like is willing to check on me when I say I'm having a bad day, that's too much. And it's just so frustrating because it's like I'm just myself. I don't know what else to do.
Guys, now I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. Hold in the laughter, okay? Today we're going to be having a bit of a talk about marriage and, why men in general are walking away from relationships. On this channel, guys, I like to talk about, both ends of the spectrum. I kind of like to talk about if a guy is choosing to date, here are some of the things you should know about. And if you're a guy who's choosing not to date, hey, I can't blame you at the moment. Like, I really can't. But today we're going to have a bit of a specific look at marriage, guys, and why men are walking away. So before we really crack into the conversation, I've got one more really quick clip to show you, and then we'll jump right into the thoughts. And I encourage you guys to leave your comments below. Um, but before we crack into it, guys, if you're new here, make sure you subscribe on your way in. Come and join the Discord, link in the description if you haven't already. And as always, if you'd like to support the channel, guys, be sure to check out the Patreon link in the description. You get access to exclusive videos and stuff like that over there. So if you're interested in becoming a supporter of the channel and getting other perks and benefits, be sure to go and check that out. But anyway, we're going to play this one as well, and then we're going to have a bit of a talk about it. But this one's volume is a little bit low, so bump it up a bit, guys.
Men of TikTok, I have a question. Actually, I have a couple questions that I think most women are gonna agree on. All right, here they are. Where did all the good men go? Like, seriously, where are the guys who just want one woman? Where are the guys who date towards marriage? Where are the guys who want kids? All I see in today's world are guys in their 20s and early 30s who still smoke and party and they go skateboarding and they game all day and they prance around the beach in flip-flops, which is that's a personal thing. But my point is, they're still children. Don't you want more meaning in your life? Personally, I want to know where all y'all old-fashioned men are, because we like you. So if you're an old-fashioned man, or if you're looking for the right things in life, call yourself out here in the comments. Let the single ladies know you exist.
Yeah, guys, they just want those more traditional men, just the more traditional guys. Now, I know a few of you can, easily translate what's going on here, but, they just want your money. They want your resources, they want your affection, and for what, guys? Like, these people have a body count. I guarantee, like, if let's just say you're a 30-year-old guy and you're talking to a 30-year-old woman, in 2021, guys, there's a very low chance that she has a lower body count than you. Right, it's about securing those resources, right? They want those traditional men because now they need someone to look after them. So we're going to jump into a bit of a talk specifically about marriage here, guys. And if you guys watch the channel, you already know how I feel about marriage. And many of the guys in the comments will tell you that marriage is a stupid idea. But in case you weren't convinced, gentlemen, we're going to jump into this article here from our favorite magazine, Evie. Now, this is written by a lady named Marcia, and it's on want to feel appreciated and on the same page with your spouse. Hold a weekly marriage meeting because, gentlemen, as a husband, you're not there to love your wife or anything like that. No, 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 no. See, you misunderstand. You're there so that she has an insurance policy for the rest of her life. Okay? A lot of guys who get into marriages don't understand. They're just a meal ticket, right? They'll use their body to kind of get you in the marriage, but once they've got you locked down, well, they figure to themselves, well, okay, now I can start to deny him access and make him take out the trash and do all of these jobs with my body now. Right, so let's just jump into this article real quick. We'll have a bit of a read through, and then we might do a second replay through of the TikToks, and I'm going to pause them and talk over them. But let's crack right in. Okay, so What if someone were to suggest that you and your spouse hold a weekly marriage meeting? Would you think, great idea, when do we start? No, you would actually think that the people in the marriage, particularly the man, you're framing him as an employee. Because that's sort of what marriage is in 2021, guys. It's it's being an employee, right? Relationships are not what men and women, not what men, excuse me, think they are. See, men are raised with the idea that relationships are they're just an equal venture where both people kind of get what they want, and you as the man, you're supposed to do all of these things and win her over. Right? You guys know those romantic movies like back in the day, where even still today, let's be quite honest with you, um, the man like throws rocks at her windows and like plays guitar outside and stuff like that. Like she didn't like him, but now that he put in all of this effort, finally she turned around and realized, what a great man he was. Yeah, that doesn't work. Okay, that's I would almost call it husband zoning, right? Like if you're someone who's just throwing money at the problem, or you look like a cash cow, for example, you're going to wind up being one of these people. Okay. See, the problem with this whole thing of the way men are raised today is now this is very it's easy for me to say because I'm an incredibly cynical person. But most men are raised to be naive. They're raised in such a way that it is super easy to control men. Okay. Now I'm not saying that to be mean, like all of these men out here they're just clueless. Absolutely not. Right? I think a lot of the men that comment on my channel are quite highly intelligent, right? And you guys know that earlier in your life, maybe you believe some of this stuff. That's not because you were stupid, right? It's because a lot of the time it's just you've been programmed to be that way, right? Well, you'll get people come onto my channel and be like, "Oh, well, Taylor, don't you think it's common sense not to date a single mother? Don't you think it's common sense not to get married?" No, it really isn't. Society likes to bait men into making these poor decisions and then wants to turn around and blame men, right? It's like, oh yeah, if you're a real man, you'll take care of her. If you're a real man, you'll date a single mother. You'll look after a kid that's not yours, right? They'll shame men. They'll do whatever it takes to convince men. And then at the end of the day, people want to turn around and will say, well, shouldn't you have had common sense? Right? Like these dreams have been like force fed down people's throats, and then they want to turn around and they want to say to men, you know what, you should have known better, right? And the thing is, it's like the men who are being told these things are oftentimes perfectly well, intelligent people. No, particularly in business, right? Right, particularly businessmen. So men who earn a lot of money, who are the cash cows. There's a lot of incentive to brainwash them. Yeah, right. There's a lot of incentive to go. Well, you're just here to please a woman, kind of thing. Right. But let's continue with the article before I ramble on too long. Okay. Here we go. But if the thought sends shivers up your spine, you're not alone. You might fear that the meeting will turn into a blame fest or a laundry list of demands or complaints. Wow, no way, that's crazy. Yet by following guidelines for holding constructive meetings, you can avoid such pitfalls and gain intimacy, teamwork. Hang on, let's look at this. Teamwork and a smoother resolution of issues. Guys, let's talk about this real quick. Constructive meetings to gain intimacy. That is beyond stupid. A lot of you guys know you can't negotiate attraction. Okay, now I would say there's almost a spectrum on which guys will sit on. They'll say, well, some guys will place way more importance on looks than others. Some guys will place far more importance on behavior than others. But at the end of the day, no matter what side of the fence you are sitting on, you are not holding meetings to gain intimacy. Okay, we're not. If people, guys, let me make this explicitly clear, right? If you as a man you're not getting intimacy, you move the hell on. Now women will say, oh well, that's confusing. You want a good girl. Like how come you want a good girl who hasn't got a high body count, but then you say, if she's not giving up intimacy, move on. The reason why I say move the hell on if she's not giving up intimacy is because most of these women have already given up their intimacy. You see what I'm saying? So like you should be moving on from a girl who doesn't give you intimacy because 9 times out of 10, that girl has a higher body count than you. Okay, you see where I'm going with this. Like the intimacy only becomes valuable if you haven't given it out to the entire town. And I'd encourage you guys to watch, go and watch one of, I believe it's one of Fresh and Fit's latest videos as of this particular date. I think it was like the second most recent one, and they had the girls on there, and they were asking that they asked, oh yeah, how many of you have had bedroom fun with a guy on the first date? And I'm pretty sure almost all of them, or at least the ones I did flick through, they all said no, right? How many of you guys? I don't believe that for a damn second. So all of these girls want to come over and be like, well, I've only had 3 relationships in my life, and they were all for 2 years. I call BS, absolute BS. Let's continue. Research shows that couples who hold these short, loosely structured, gentle conversations gain a significant increase in marital happiness. I can vouch for their effectiveness. That was a terrible lisp. I can vouch for their effectiveness both personally and professionally. From marriage expert to marriage newbie. Before I got married, I was considered an expert couple and family therapist. My goodness. But I couldn't be an expert about my own marriage because I couldn't be objective while inside of it. Yeah, I mean, whatever. I mean, at the end of the day, whatever rationalization helps you still think you're a professional and knew what you were doing, right? It's like if you know it's kind of like this, guys, right? Like if you're a guy and you're a mechanic, right? That's like saying, you know what? I was a mechanic fixing everybody else's cars, but when it came to my car, dude, like I don't know, I just couldn't be objective because I liked the car so much. You know what I mean? And then you want to turn around and you still want to consider yourself a good mechanic. Maybe you just had no idea what you were doing in the first place. If you knew how to fix all of the other cars, your car is no exception. You see what I'm saying? But anyway, let's keep going. I give our weekly meetings major credit for our lasting happiness. As newlyweds over 30 years ago, my husband and I took a marriage class. We picked up on the idea of conducting weekly marriage meetings. We still hold them after all this time because the benefits are so huge. I give our weekly meetings major credit for our lasting happiness. Can all couples benefit from holding meetings? Couples who want to make a good marriage even better will love the results. So will those who want to jazz up a ho-hum relationship. Even the healthiest couples have concerns about in-law relationships, money, parenting, bedroom fun, or something else. Guys, if you're someone in a relationship, right, and hey, you think to yourself, you know what, what's the quickest way I can ruin this relationship? You know, let's just say you got this beautiful girl, right? She's your girlfriend. She's stunning. And you want to think to yourself, hey man, Taylor, listen, I paid for your Patreon, Taylor, and I want some advice. How do I run this girl away from me as quickly as possible? You know what I would say to you? Hey, why don't you hold weekly relationship meetings to see where you're both at emotionally so you can help solve each other's issues and stuff like that moving forward? You know what? Maybe. Oh my goodness, dude. Like, see, the problem is, right, is that people want to say, here's the thing, like relationships are all about communication, right? But then there are a couple ways of interpreting that, right? Because you can go, yeah, sure, relationships are all about communication. Okay, fine. Go out there and communicate how much you like her, how much you want her to be in your life, how much you care for her. Communicate your vulnerabilities, guys. You're going to start running into some problems, right? Now, communication can work when you're brutally honest and you say to her, hey, look, I'm not much of a relationship guy. I mean, sure, that can work, right? But then there's also room for selling women on a dream, and you got a whole spectrum of different responses that you can give. But my point is, like if you're going into it with the idea of, you know what, I'm going to communicate with this girl, all of these things, how I feel, what, all of this crap, you're walking down the wrong path, my friend. And a lot of guys get blindsided with this, particularly in long-term relationships. This is something, right? Like if you look at this article, right, the lesson you can extract from it is kind of if you're in a long-term relationship and you want it to be open with, over time you become more and more open with communication about how you feel. That is actually oftentimes the cause for the relationship disintegrating, right? So like let me give you an example. So let's just say, you know, over the course of your relationship, you end up doing more and more of the housework, and she wants you to be more and more open and honest with her. So you do that. You try and communicate your feelings more. You do more of the chores, and before you know it, she's cheating on you. Okay, because what this is, it's a progression. You guys ever notice how relationships are progressions for women? Right, for men it's like, oh well, we either do have a relationship or we don't have a relationship. But for women, they look at it as progression, right? They look at it as like peeling back the layers of who you are, and the more they peel it back, guys, the more bored they get. Right? Let's continue with the article, and then we'll wrap up the video. Some couples need professional help to restore their relationship before they can hold productive meetings on their own. Typically, good therapy encourages them to change complaints into expressed wishes and to use positive communication techniques. Once partners are relating more warmly and empathetically, I coach them through the 4 parts of a marriage meeting. When couples tell me that they've been holding a successful marriage meetings on their own and with good results, I find it heartwarming. The marriage meeting agenda, you guys ready for this? Right? Let's have a look at it. An effective marriage meeting follows this sentence: appreciation, chores, plans for good times, problems and challenges. Now, guys, let's just have a look at these two real quick. Let me just highlight them. It's, you know, it's almost comedic, really, isn't it? Right? Like, what do you guys? How about you rock up to a meeting with your partner and you say to her, you know what? I'm just feeling underappreciated. Hey, maybe can I have some more appreciation? Can I have some more perhaps compliments? What you're really saying is, hey, I don't feel good enough about you're not making me feel good enough about myself. Guys, try going to a woman with an emotional deficit and you let me know how that goes. Try making it so that, like, let's just say you have a hole in your self-esteem. Try and plug that with a woman's validation, and you let me know how long that works for. 1, how long she sticks around for, and 2, how effective that is. And let's just look at the second one, right? I'm sure many of you guys are cringing as you see this. Chores. Yeah, that's right, gentlemen. Chores. You know, has he done the dishes? Has he, taken care of this and that? Oh my goodness. But guys, we're going to jump back into the one of the TikToks right here, and I'm just going to quickly narrate over the top of it, and we'll kind of wrap up the video there. So let's jump back into this TikTok. I actually just figured out during this how to bump up the volume a little bit. So let's go through what she has to say once again.
Thanks. Have a good day. Good morning, men of TikTok. I have a question. Actually, I have a couple questions that I think most women are going to agree on. All right, here they are. Where did all the good men go? Like, seriously, where are the guys who just want one woman? Where are the guys who date towards marriage? Where are the guys who want kids? All I see in today's world are guys in their 20s and early 30s who still smoke and party and they go skateboarding and they game all day.
Yeah, guys, just pick up the responsibility that is a marriage. Go over there, pick up your wallet, and then just what you want to do is you want to just hand it over, right? Just hand over your wallet and all of the things inside of it. Hey guys, if you have house keys as well, car keys, you might as well just, like, what you do, guys, is here's what you do. You lay out all of your important possessions. Okay, I want you guys to get your desk in front of you, maybe a workbench or something like that, and I want you to put all of the valuable assets you possibly can on that desk. And then I want you to think about your, all the other assets you have. And then what I want you to do is I want you to get a coin, right? And you're gonna flip that coin, and if it lands on tails, you're just gonna lose all of your stuff, right? Yeah. And then not only that, guys, half of the time it lands on heads, you lose your stuff anyway as well. Like, okay, the question becomes, gentlemen, why would men go through the risk? What's the point, right? I'm hearing men need to do this, men need to do that, but I'm not hearing, the payoff for men. Okay, because there's got to be some kind of incentive, and right now, these girls on TikTok, they're not really much of an incentive. But anyway, guys, we're going to leave today's video there. Hope you enjoyed. Bit of a different one where we look at some TikToks, we look at an article. As always, leave your thoughts and comments below. Subscribe if you're new. If you'd like to support the channel, guys, be sure to check out the Patreon or PayPal links in the description. I greatly appreciate the support over there. Patreon support is preferred, guys, because you guys send me donations. I would rather you get something in return for it. So, you know, if you're interested in the video content, Patreon's probably a better. I just feel bad when dudes donate me money and like they don't even like buy a shirt or anything, so I can't give them anything in return. So if you're interested in supporting the channel, guys, do consider checking out the Patreon. But as always, guys, take care, and I'll see you boys in the next one. Peace.